Hello, welcome to our weekly segment of the Cytonn Report. I'm your host, Teresia Kingara. We continue to give you deep insights and analysis into the various investments opportunities through the authoritative report that goes out every Sunday. This week, we focused on the International Monetary Fund standby agreement, and with me on the show to help us understand better what this means is David Kitao, an investments analyst at Cytonn. David, karibu.
Asante.
What's the standby agreement facility by the IMF?
It's basically a lending arrangement by the International Monetary Fund to member countries in emerging markets who are in need of financial assistance, especially those ones that are facing immediate or potential balance of payment problems.
So why does Kenya need it?
For Kenya, like I mentioned, it is mainly granted to countries facing immediate or potential balance of payment problems. In our case, we are not facing immediate problems because currently we have high forex reserves, which are equivalent to like 5.8 months of import cover currently. So in our case, it's mainly a precautionary facility.
And is this the first time that we've reached out to the IMF for this kind of an arrangement?
It's actually not the first time.
Yeah.
The first time that Kenya was granted the access to the facilities was in 1975. But over the years, we've been granted access to various facilities, which include the standby arrangement that we are currently talking about, as well as others like the standby credit facility. But in totality, we've been granted access to 5.4 million USD. But out of that, we've only withdrawn around 2.1 million in US dollars.
The IMF recently conducted their economic review of Kenya. What were the findings from the review that they did?
They mentioned that the economy was still performing well, having expanded by 5.7 in Q1 2018. They also noted that the Kenyan shilling has been resilient against the US dollar, having gained by 2.7% on a year-to-date basis. Also, inflation has been within target. The government set target of 2.5 to 7.5% since July 2017. The final thing, they also noted that the current account deficit have been widened by 6.7% last year, but as of June 2018, it had narrowed to 5.8%. So generally, from the macroeconomic fundamentals, the country is in the right trajectory. That is from our view.
So back to the standby arrangement with the IMF. Should Kenya fail to access the facility, what does this mean for us?
In the short term, we don't see the country facing any problems since we currently have adequate reserves equivalent to 5.8 months of import cover. But in the long term, we think the facility will be important in cushioning the country from any exogenous shocks that may come. But we also think that the facility will be very important since from the other countries that the IMF has granted the facilities, as well as in Kenya, it usually comes with preset conditions, and that's why the IMF had come to Kenya to review if Kenya is meeting those conditions. But we think it will be important because from those conditions, the preset conditions that is, it ensures that the government maintains fiscal discipline. For now, we'll just have to wait and see if the IMF will extend the facility, but we think it will be important for us as Kenya as a precautionary measure.
Thank you, David. So now all we can do is wait and see whether the IMF will extend its standby arrangement facility. Until next time, kwaheri.